Hello, this is Evangelist Robert L. McKim Sr. Excuse me. My mouth and throat's dry because I'm getting ready here to go to an appointment at my gastroenterologist to have an endoscopy done. Waiting for Carroll County Rural Transit to come pick me up because of the fact I'll be put to sleep and they don't want me, of course, to drive back home. I don't have nobody to depend on anymore like I used to. Years ago, my father could, take me to places, but he moved to Florida, so he's no longer around. My son, the only one that can drive, he works, so he can't take me to appointments. So I basically went, appointments where basically I had to be put to sleep and they don't want me to drive back home. I have to basically have rural transit. Well, there's an issue too going on with an appointment that I need to go to because I have bad teeth. My teeth are crooked on the bottom. They're on top of that, I got one here that has a hole in it. Got one here that's chipped. My teeth are bad all the way around. I've had so many pulled out, and I had 5 impacted teeth that was surgically removed by an oral surgeon 2 years ago. This is the oral surgeon right here that removed my impacted teeth. They took the Ohio Medicaid 2 years ago. This was in 2000 and 2010 through 2011. Basically, this is a summary of what all they did, how much it cost the government to remove my impacted teeth. 2010, basically, when I went for an examination, that was $65. Then medical request, info. Let's see what here. Let's see. General anesthesia, $305 to remove each tooth. Basically, one was $390, one was $325, one was $325, another was $130, and another one was $130. But see, the thing is, when he pulled this tooth down here, it severed a nerve, because it was basically the nerve went right through the tooth. And he told me beforehand, and I said, go ahead, So I have nerve damage right here. It just constantly feels like I got a fat lip all the time. Well, long story short, it's getting, it gets, some days it's okay, and some days I feels more swelled than others. And the long story short is, now oral surgeons do not take Ohio Medicaid at all. Period. Dentists do, but not oral surgeons. The reason why I did that is because I have TMJ in my jaw. It hurts if I don't snap and crack there's pressure that constantly builds up right here in the side of my jaw. It also does it a little bit on this side too, but more on this side. Pressure will build up, and then I have to snap and crack my jaws. So it doesn't hurt as bad. Like arthritis in my hands, I have to snap and crack my hands so they don't hurt as bad. Basically, it's kind of like arthritis in my jaw. The problem is, I tell dentists I can't keep my mouth open for very long periods of time. And here I need basically all my teeth removed and have dentures made. But the problem is, a regular dentist will not put me to sleep. They don't put people to sleep. They just, numb you and pull your teeth. I want to be put to sleep like I was in 2011. Well, no oral surgeon nowadays will take a high Medicaid. So I did find up at Metro Health in Cleveland, their oral surgery. They have regular dentists, and then they have their oral surgeons. First, I went to this dentist here, and he's got the approval to make dentures for me. But of course, that ends the 12th of this month, November, the 12th of November. They're going to do an extension if I can get my teeth removed. The problem is, now I know there's going to be some people that's going to be, saying, well, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do what you know in your heart and your mind that is wrong. Just to get seen. This hospital up there in Cleveland, here's a map of the hospital and parking. Notice there in the yellow on this one street, okay? That is the only street that I can park on because of the fact, let me show you. I gotta show you people what I'm talking about. People don't understand my walk. People don't want to understand my commitment that I had made to God and to Jesus. People don't want to understand my walk. They want to just constantly complain and say that what I do is a hobby. This is not a hobby. Okay, this is basically my organization. It's not a hobby. I have a yellow light on top of my vehicle, and then I have the 3 antennas. Let me walk around here. See, of course, my plate has my call sign on it. Got another sign over here. And on the back of my vehicle, I have another badge on the window and what I am, the frequencies that I use. Of course, the other stickers there. The thing is, I wanted to show you is that my antennas. See, for me to lay down my antennas, I'd have to, grab here, put my feet up here, sturdy myself, get up here, and then I can lay these antennas down. But see, I can't get to that antenna, and on top of that, that magnet on that antenna is stronger and bigger. See, it's bigger and it's stronger than these magnets. Okay? I cannot take and lay that antenna over. And see how tall it is? See how tall it is? Well, it's a little taller than these other ones. From the ground up, from the ground up, I measured From the ground up, I measured to the tip of the antenna is 12 feet. 12 feet. Okay? I cannot go into a parking garage that is only 8 feet or less. I cannot, and I will not park in a parking garage that is only 8 feet or less. And problem is, that is all parking garages are. Move, pretty girl. That is all parking garages are. 8 feet or less. Now, here's another thing. Like I was saying, this hospital, the only open air parking that they have is either on that one street. Of course, there are areas where you cannot park at. You know, no parking from here to here, you know what I mean? Well, long story short, if I go up there and then there's no place for me to park, I got to pay also for valet parking. They say, well, I can park, let me find that map again. I can park right here, which is in front of the emergency room, which is where I have to go in the first place, into the emergency room, and upstairs there by the emergency room to the dental clinic and the oral surgery clinic. The long story short is, it costs up to $11 for valet parking. It can even go higher depending on how long you're there. It's $7 and can go, they said, and it can go up to $11 for parking, depending how long you're there. I only got $3 to my name. $3. And some change. See, this is all I got. $3, that's all I got. And change in my change purse. And this is supposed to be for the copay for the dentist. I have to pay a $3 copay to the dentist. I also need my McKim filled too, because I only have two left, and I got basically enough for this week, and then Sunday and Monday. And this, to get this filled, is $3.60. So in order for me, if I was to drive up to the hospital myself, get a gas voucher, drive up there myself, I'm going to need money for parking in the valet parking, and I'm going to need the $3 for the copay, and I'm going to need I don't have it, so I had to cancel my appointment. Rural Transit was I asked for Rural Transit to take me up, but here's another dilemma. They don't have no bay available really to take me up on the 6th in the afternoon. They wanted me to try to reschedule it for the 12th or the 14th. I called up there. They said they don't have anything available at all on the 12th or the 14th. They said they could squeeze me on the 13th. I'm like, no, that wouldn't work. It has to be the 12th or the 14th. They said, well, why don't you find out from Rural Transit what would be a good day for them? Call back to Rural Transit. They said, well, you make the appointment, then we'll see. And I called back up there again. They said, we're not going to schedule you an appointment until we know it's going to be a good date. So I kept getting the runaround yesterday from the dental clinic and rural transit on when I should make an appointment. So I basically had to cancel this appointment for the 6th. And I'm in limbo now because I need money to park in a close parking spot, and I don't have the money. I don't have the money for my medicine. I don't have the money for the copay. If rural transit could took me up, then, you know, they of course were paid for parking, and because they could park in the parking garage, and I would just have the money for my copay, and then hopefully I'd come up with the money to get my medicine. But the problem is, people, I only had $282 left over after I paid my bills. And $44.50 of that was for my new sticker for my plate. The rest went for groceries. And another disturbing thing that I want to talk about is that down in Florida, I think it's Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they had passed a law that you cannot feed the homeless in public, that they have to go to a shelter or a church to be fed. Because basically they're saying that is an eyesore. It's a plight, basically, on the community of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to have homeless wandering around in public, you know, getting food. And it is illegal if you are a minister or you have a ministry that feeds the homeless. You can't do it anymore in public. You have to do it at a church or some facility that is certified basically to feed the homeless. What did Jesus say? Let's study right now. Let's study what Jesus said. Let's study what Jesus said. The Bible. The Bible. Okay, I know some of you don't like me pulling out my Bible and preaching to you. But let me tell you something. You need preach too. Because it isn't all good news. It's also, hey, if you don't do what I want you to do, this is what's going to happen. God isn't just a loving God and is just going to smack you on the wrist when you do something bad. Oh, sin, you know, that's just, you know, you know. No, God isn't that way. God deals with sin justly, rightfully, and swiftly. Another thing is that you people need to wake up and realize is that God has already judged sexual sin. God has already judged homosexuality. He has judged the gays, lesbians, and bisexuals. He has judged them already. But yet, judges... Okay, let's put it this way. God is the supreme court of the entire earth. He has already passed his judgment on these people. But yet we are going to earthly judges and basically wanting to overthrow God's judgment. We want to basically appeal God's judgment to earthly judges and having earthly judges saying God was wrong. God's judgment was wrong. We are going to redefine God's judgment and making it no longer a sin. Oh, okay. I think oil's here now. I'm getting some oil But I wanted to finish here real quick before I forget about it. I thought they were going to come tomorrow, but they're coming here this morning. I wanted to finish this real quick. Jesus said in Matthew 25, starting with 31, the Son of Man will judge the nations. The nations, okay? The nations. Not, it doesn't mean Israel. It says nations. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory, and all the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from another, as a shepherd divides the sheep from the goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left hand. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous, which are the religious people who are always wanting to basically put, or make, I should say, make God, make Jesus into their own selfish, self-centered beliefs. They want to make Jesus and God to be what they want Jesus and God to be. Jesus is not talking about Israel here. He's talking about the entire world here. All the nations, even the Gentile nations. So get it straight. Even the Gentile nations. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and gave you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?" And the king will answer and say to them, "Surely I say to you, inasmuch as you did to one of these least of these, my brethren, you did to me." Well, I'm going to quit for there. I'm going to ask you, do you understand what I'm saying? Are you born again? Do you have a gift of discernment to understand what I'm preaching here? Basically, Jesus is saying that when we are doing these things, then we will not be judged unrightfully. I gotta go outside here and see what's going on. Plus, I gotta get breakfast finished and get ready for World Transit to show up. So, he's hitting the tank. I'm not sure why. So, I gotta see here what's going on. So, anyhow, that's basically my 2 cents on everything. I'm not taking the antennas off for anybody to park in a parking garage. And I don't know what he's doing. He's pounding on my tank. So I gotta go out there and see what's going on. So God bless you. Have a blessed day.